thank you. That's Luke Flanagan on the fans panel this afternoon. Let's hear from you here on BBC Radio Humberside. You can text 81333, start the message with the letters RH, and you can also get involved on WhatsApp as well, 08000 321 333. Again, put RH at the start of the message. Well, the match winner and the main man for Hull City this afternoon, with 2 goals that confirms the Tigers' place in the Championship playoffs, and a game against Millwall on Friday night at home, and then Monday, a couple of days later at the New Den, was Ollie McBurney, and he spoke to Mike White.
Ollie, congratulations. You've played a little part in that as well, which we'll talk about in a second, but this team have made the playoffs. How does that feel?
Yeah, really good. I think, after the year on the whole, I think it would have been a real shame if we didn't make it. I think we've put ourselves in this position. No one's put us there. It's not been luck. It's been real hard work from the boys, grind. And I think after the run that we've been on, for the boys to go out there and do that like they did today shows what we're about in that dressing room. We found something. We had to find it. Today was the day we needed to find it, and we did it. We just wanted to make it a bit more exciting for the fans. That's why we've been terrible for the last 6 weeks.
You said to me on Tuesday, it was the last thing you said, get behind us, we'll give you something to shout about. You delivered today, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It's tough going into games like this because you don't really want to talk too much. But at the same time, sometimes you do need to get them messages across. I think the fans have been brilliant, and today they were outstanding, from first minute to the 90th. And it just shows you really can give us that extra boost. And there was times today before the game I was even a little bit emotional, walking out with my daughters and seeing the fans and things like that. And I can't remember the last time that ever happened to me. So it was a special feeling today. But that's just the beginning, that's just to get us to have a chance of where we want to be. So the hard work starts on Monday.
Well, exactly, and I hope I'm asking this very question maybe next Monday after the second leg, and hopefully at Wembley as well. But what does this moment mean to get you to that point?
Yeah, that's all it is. It's the opportunity to get to. First of all, it's a reward for the hard work of the full season. I was saying to the boys today throughout, and during the game, everything that we've done this season, all the hard work, all the blood, sweat, tears, all the tough times, all the hard times we've been away from our families, all them things, all them times where things weren't going so well, is all come down to this last game, and then last 45, and then the last 10 minutes, and that's literally what it was. It was either worth something or it was worth nothing, and we've made it worth something, and now we go into the week with full optimism that we can go and get to where we want to get to.
It was typical last day drama, wasn't it? Not just for you, but across all 3 games that played a part into who could get that 6th spot. Yeah,
I don't even really know what's going on. I've just found out that Ipswich got promoted.
Ipswich are up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Middlesbrough and Wrexham drew 2-2. Derby lost in the end. Your old side helping you out a bit to keep them out of the equation.
I knew the Blades would come in and help me out.
At one stage that Derby were leading. There was at different times you were all in that 6th place spot. When they take the lead, Norwich, what are you thinking?
We go again. I think it was really key for us to go up the other end and score. I think we knew we needed a goal before half time, and Joffy's done brilliant to get on the end of one. And it's tough sometimes when you're up there, and he's done what he does. The little ball's gone up there and won a penalty, and we're straight back into the game there, and then we're going at half time with the opportunity to go and do what we want to do. So yeah, it just shows. It's just testament to the boys for the character that we have in that dressing room. It's not always pretty at times. It's not always the best foot. It's not always Barcelona, but we know how to win games, and we know how to do things. And I think you can see that today. That performance epitomised that.
You've scored some big goals in your career. Where did they rank?
Yeah, I just got asked that for Sky Sports. It's hard to to think about it in the moment. I'm just I'm on cloud 9 at the minute. So I'm sure when I settle down, I'll be able to give you a better answer than that. But the feeling in them moments, mate. I said it to an interviewing you in the week. I just said that you never get tired of them feelings. It's, honestly, if you could bottle up that feeling, you'd be able to sell it for whatever price you wanted. There is truly no feeling like it. So yeah, but again, to be able to go out and help the boys and get to where we want to do, I think it's just a reward for how hard we've worked this year.
Talk us through the 2 goals. First of all, the penalty.
Yeah, I won't talk too much about my penalty selection, but the goalkeeper coach had a little word with me before the game, and kind of swayed my decision, and you know I'm always confident going into penalties. I'm always confident that Joffrey's not going to take a penalty again. So
after Wrexham,
exactly. So no, when it comes to a penalty, I'm always confident. And then, to be fair, I thought I'd scored again in the beginning of the second half from Gilo's cross. So I don't think I could do much more. And the keeper's made an unbelievable save when he left me be. I thought it was in the goal, and I was just telling myself I'm going to get one more chance. I just need to make it count. And you know, when the ball's been stood up to the back post, I've just timed my run off Tree's header, and thankfully enough, he's put it in the right spot, and I've managed to put it away. And like I say, that feeling will never be beaten.
Especially given the outcome. Well done to Ollie McBurney, 2 goals this afternoon. Are the goals that confirm Hull City as a playoff side in the Championship, and they will now meet Millwall. It's Salford for Grimsby Town. Let's get live reaction from the Mariners head coach, David Artell. He is live at Prenton Park with Matt Dean.
David, congratulations on the 7th place finish, and you're going to be playing Salford in the playoffs. Let's get some reaction to that first of all. What do you think?
Yeah, well, we played, it'll be tough. Yeah, it'll be where it'll be. We knew that before the game. Yeah, it's Salford. We've beaten twice in the league, but that probably doesn't mean anything. Because if we had Chesterfield, we'd be saying the opposite. So we know the 2 tough games. There'll be 2 tough games. Sunday afternoon at BP. We need the atmosphere like it was last Saturday against Swindon, and obviously the Man United game, and then hopefully get a result before we go across the Downs again and fill the away end. So yeah, the lads will rest up, we'll prepare properly, and meet the playoffs head on.
Were you keeping tabs on how it was all panning out on the touchline?
Yeah.
Let's discuss your afternoon, and we'll do that once we've talked about a 7th place finish for your team. What do you think?
Yeah, look, we've finished on 78 points. I think last year the 3rd place was 79, so I know it's not this year, but we've been on a great run. We've had more points than anyone since Christmas. We haven't played particularly well today. I don't think we played particularly poorly either. We should have been many more goals than 1 up at half time. We had so many transition moments. We've missed an absolute sitter at the start of the second half. Cookies missed one in the first half. And whether it's 1-0, it's a tight game. And they then get back in the game after we make a mistake and present them a chance. And then do a better team. So, I'm sure they're delighted to staying up. But we're not focused on that. We've got to make sure that we arrest that momentum better. They play the system that we didn't think they'd play, so we changed our way. And within 2 minutes, the lads have understood it and got it, which was really pleasing. But then we didn't arrest the momentum for the last half an hour of the game, so that was disappointing. But we didn't lose. Like I say, we've got to, over the course of 46 games, we're there on merit. Over the course of the last 23, 24 games, we're definitely there on merit. We should be even higher. So 2 more games, hopefully 3, and we'll see where we get to.
How impressed were you with the quality of your goal today?
Yeah, it was an outstanding goal, wasn't it? The disappointing thing is we only did it once, twice, just in, like I said, missed it in the second half. But we had opportunities to do that more in the first half, and the final pass let us down. The Norwich pass to Greeny on a big touch. There was a few. I'm not going to go through them all. There's about 4 or 5 of them. We've got to brush up on that. And if we do, then we'll be hopefully scoring more goals and winning more games of football.
Salford then on the horizon. We'll come on to them in a moment. You made 4 team changes today, didn't you? How difficult a team selection was it for you today?
It wasn't easy, I have to say. We want to win the game. That's the first thing. We're competitive sportsmen and professionals and what have you. And you've got to maintain integrity. You can't just put out a youth team or something like that, something ridiculous like that. But we've got to look after ourselves, and we've earned the right to potentially rest a player or give someone more minutes or less minutes or whatever. So yeah, we took a long time sort of deciding what the 11 would be, and what the subs would be, and who the subs would be, and none of that was easy because of the context of not just the game. It's easy when you take the game in isolation, but we're not. We're taking another game in isolation in 8 days' time. I think one thing you can say is certainly it didn't weaken us. I think that'd be a really derogatory statement to the players that came in, because that's not the case. And also the lads who came in did well, so it proved the point. So, and we're all of the mindset and of the feeling that whatever change we made, we wouldn't have a weaker team. So I think we couldn't lose in that sense, even though the context, if we lost the game, everyone would say, use that as a stick to beat us with. But I'd have certainly defended that, because the level and quality of the player that come in and the rest of the players that started the game and finished the game, they're of the standard. That's why we're in the playoffs. So, yeah, a lot of thought went into it, but that's what we get paid to do, and it's not a terrible problem to have either.
No Harvey in your matchday squad at all today. What was the thinking there?
Just making sure that he's ready for next week. It's not that we're ashamed, or I don't know how to say that. That's what it is. It is at the disappointing thing from him on a personal level. He started the previous 45 league games, but I've got to make sure that sentiment doesn't come into it. Although that would be a lovely accolade for him personally, it wouldn't have been the right thing to do. So, yeah, we make decisions based on the best things for the football club, always, and that included obviously team selection today.
Going back to Justin, obviously he scored a very good goal, good team goal.
Yeah.
He was due a goal, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's been playing really well. He should have had another. Started the second half, but he couldn't quite keep under the bar. He's a good player. He's come on a lot, I'd say.
Where do you feel you've improved him most?
I think he's understood what his role is with us. And first of all, one, I'm not a magician, and two, I don't expect players to be an absolute sponge and take everything in and understand everything one day, 1 week, 1 month. It takes a long time. So, that's how learning and skill acquisition happens. You're not telling me a 4-year-old knows algebra. He doesn't. He has to learn how to add up first, and he has to understand that sometimes letters are instead of numbers. That takes time, and that's skill acquisition in football is no different. So his development over the last 8, 9, 10 months has been really good, because he's picking up more and more and more of what we're asking of him, and he's becoming a better and better player and a more effective player. And you've seen that today. I thought, he didn't score a goal at Cambridge, but I thought he was the best player on the pitch. Now, he scored a goal last minute, and Jackal says a penalty, and it goes sort of under the radar. His positioning, what he did, what we asked of him, was outstanding. So we're delighted that he gets the plaudits, because he scored a goal today, and everyone can see that. So he's coming on nicely.
It's a good achievement for the club to make the playoffs. I know we've discussed this before, David. What would you say to people listening to this who might be disappointed that your second leg in the semis now will be away from home?
Get to the first one. Get to the first leg. We've got 2 huge games against a team we know well, and we've got lots of firepower and lots of threats, and so we need you all at BP on Sunday to bring the noise, create that atmosphere like we did against Swindon, and hopefully that we can get an advantage going into the second leg. If we can't, it's all to play for, and back out the away end at Salford, and like we've already done this season, and get the result there like we've already done.
But those 2 wins in the campaign, as you all know, don't count for anything now, do they?
No, they don't. It gives you a good idea of what they may or may not do, but then it's not about them, it's about us. We've got to make sure we show Salford why we took more points in the South this season than anyone else. It's as simple as that. We look at ourselves more than anyone else, and we look at ourselves more than the opposition. And if we play well, we'll give anyone a game, and that's what's going to happen in the next 2 games.
The fans have backed you to the hilt, haven't they, this season? And again, we saw today 2,000 travelling supporters. What sort of difference do you feel they can make now in the playoffs?
It's huge. It made a difference today. It made a difference, going forward. Every game that we play, they make a difference. It doesn't go unnoticed, and we're grateful. We went back out then, 10-15 minutes after that full time, once the fans had got off the pitch to thank him. Because it's not, first of all, it's not just round the corner, is it? It took us over 4 hours to get here yesterday, and it's not cheap following any football club. So we're extremely grateful for the support we bring. and I'm hoping that the next two games they can back us and we provide two good performances and importantly two good results, so that we can all have a dive in the line.
Do your 2 wins over them this season make them even more dangerous, do you think?
Yeah, you can look at it either way, can't you? You can look at it either way. They give us the sort of voodoo of them, or not. It's obviously I'd rather have beaten them twice, but I'm not sure it's too much. You can read too much into it. It's as simple as that. It'll be two good teams. That's why we're both in the playoffs, and hopefully we'll get out on the right side of it.
Thanks for coming to speak live to the fans and being generous with your time. Thank you very much. Well done on the 7th place finish.
Cheers, thanks man.
Thank you to David Artell. Live reaction from the Mariners head coach. If we can get a player, we'll bring you that between now and 6 o'clock. We'll have the Hull City captain Louis Coyle on the programme shortly. Let's return to the reaction to Hull City. They've made it to the Championship playoffs by beating Norwich, and other results going the way of the Tigers. Let's talk to John Drinkall, who's a City fan and chair of the Hull City Official Supporters Club. John, evening to you.
Good evening, James.
So, have you come down yet from that lofty place that you felt 3 hours ago?
Just about, at least. You couldn't write it, could you, really? But it's what Hull City do, isn't it? If they can find any way to put their fans through absolute purgatory, they will grasp it and pull it to their bosom like a long-lost brother. And that's what they do. But, they did the work on the field in the end. And here we are through to the playoffs, and hopefully that's our second home.
Yeah, indeed. And talk me through the sequence of events through the course of the afternoon. How closely were you paying attention to the various different permutations as the game went on?
I think there were dozens and dozens of mobile phones out there linked to various sports websites and matching scores, and we knew that Wrexham were in the lead, and then the Middlesbrough equalised, and then Wrexham were in the lead again, and Middlesbrough equalised 2 minutes after, I think it was. So there were various bits of cheers going around the ground every now and again when we got scores through. So yeah, I think everybody was keeping their eye on what else was going on, because it was just so tight. I mean, you could almost before the game see that Wrexham would lose, we'd draw, Derby would win, and they'd sneak in there. So the way that it worked out was a bit hairy at times, but got there in the end.
What about Charlie Hughes' performance? I have to say, I think from the moment that we spoke to him on Tuesday and the kind of language that he was using about his time off out of the starting lineup, and the way perhaps that Shemi Ajayi played in the previous game, there was a strong possibility that he would start this game despite this double hernia. How do you feel he equipped himself through the game, John?
I think he did well, I say, especially in the circumstances. We stopped before, and I've had a double hernia myself, and it's not a comfortable thing to have. But I thought Charlie did well. To be honest, I thought that you couldn't say that there was a player really who didn't put it in under there. And Charlie was as good as he normally is. He was getting in, putting tackles in, and you wouldn't think he had a problem, to be fair to him. I thought he did very well.
And what about then looking ahead to the playoffs? City have had one positive result against Millwall, and it was a big result just before Christmas, and arguably certainly one of the results that you would look at to identify why City are where they are. Then of course perhaps the reason why City ended the year like they have, or the season like they have in the sluggish way, you look at the game at the MKM Stadium a few weeks ago. But as City fan, how confident are you the fact that it's Millwall and perhaps not Southampton or Middlesbrough at this stage?
Yeah, I think I would have been a lot more worried if it had been Southampton. They've come in on a real charge. They're a form team, and they're doing really well. Millwall, I think, really looking at it, is probably the one with the picks of the three. I think we can go there. I mean, obviously, if we can come away with at least a game even at the MKM, and get at least a draw out of that, I think we can go down there and take them out and go through to the final.
Yeah, and we've spent a lot of the time this year talking about how City are living beyond their means in terms of how the year started and how it finishes. But just put into context just how well this team and Sergei Kirovic have done.
I don't think there's hardly way to describe it really. When you look at the fact that, you know, before the season started even, every bookie, every pundit had us nailed on for relegation. And then, of course, the EFL sanctions came in, and we weren't able to buy players. And when you look at, and then, of course, you had all the injuries as well. I mean, we must have had probably the worst injury record of a season ever. I don't think we went 2-3 games when Sergei could pick a team, because he was always getting somebody injured. So when you look at all that, where they are at the moment, it's absolutely unbelievable. They've done a fantastic job.
Indeed. John, enjoy your night, and all the best to you and Jan, who I know you are very much passionate City fans, and that one I suspect is for all of that travelling throughout the season, all of those games covered for you, and all of the supporters, whether you've been to one game or been to all the games this afternoon. Congratulations to you and Hull City. This from Richard, he's told us, happy evening, James. Reflecting on City's miraculous last day playoff triumph, quite amazing now when we're in it. Let's enjoy it. Millwall have come on really strong at the end of the season and will be tough to overturn, as will the other remaining teams, but we're in the battle, and as today's shown, anything's possible. Plus, City love the playoffs, especially when we finish in 6th place. So happy times again, let's enjoy it. Come on City, let's be having it. P.S. James, a celebrity shandy has turned into 4 lagers. I was never going to be one shandy, was it? Let's be honest. Thank you very much for that. Alan says, fantastic for City supporters today. After struggling at home, a great result. Didn't think things would go our way, but they did. If I could pick a team to play, it would be Millwall. Turn up 2 games, then another Wembley weekend. Over the moon today. Thank you very much for that. This one, we shouldn't be surprised. We failed to beat yet another relegation candidate. I think we've only won 1 all season against bottom 5 sides. On the bright side, we play Salford, which I think is the most advantageous game for us, unless Swindon had got in. Up the Marins, thank you very much. And this from Simon, what a result for City, proud of them. All great goals by Ollie. Looking forward to the next match already. Up the Tigers, Simon. Thank you very much for that. And Nicola says, really gutted to be missing the game and taking my son Rio to Tranmere as home, having had 7 days of radiotherapy, hopefully going to games for the playoffs. Up the Marins. Nicola, look, there are some bigger challenges in life that by far and away supersede football, and as football is the most amazing thing for us, I think what you're going through right now kind of puts everything in perspective. So from everybody here at BBC Radio Humberside, from the wider BBC in this area as well, we send our best wishes and hope you will be there for the playoffs games, and my sincere best wishes to you and what is obviously a challenging period of time for you. Let's bring you live reaction, and certainly Nicola will be great to hear from that. Let's hear from goal scorer Justin Amalazor. He put the Mariners ahead this afternoon, and he's live at Prenton Park with Matt Dean.
Justin, congratulations on your goal. How do you reflect on the afternoon?
Decent for me, because I'm scoring literally game 4 playoffs, and I'm buzzing with a goal, but all in all, it was a draw. We'll take it, and we haven't lost in 3 games now. We'll take the momentum to playoffs, and yeah, it was decent.
Might have had a second one this afternoon?
Oh yeah, I think he did get a block on the line. I'm still saying that. Well, watch the replay again, but yeah, probably still should be scoring there. Yeah, probably should be. Yeah.
How pleased were you to put the finishing touch to that fantastic move?
I was delighted because, as I said in my interview before, that I think goals will come. I was working hard, but I've always scored goals and I like to score goals, and that was just a bit of it. And yeah, I probably should have 2 today, as you say. But yeah, no, I was delighted with that goal. Yeah.
Had it been weighing heavy on you that you've not scored so far in 2026?
I wouldn't say weighing heavy, but I would say I was very determined to score. Like, I was, after every game, whether I played well or not, I was like, I really want to score, because that's what I score goals. That's what I wanted to do.
Is it a disappointment to the players that you've not managed to see off a struggling team today?
I wouldn't say disappointment, because we knew what it meant to them today with the fans they had, and we knew they were going to give it their all. But we did want to win today. Let's have it right. We wanted to win and pick the swords them in thought of our playoff game. But we're not disappointed, because we know that we were still on high spirits, because we know we can come in games.
Salford then in the playoffs, with the second leg being away from Lundell Park. How do the players feel about that?
Oh, well, what side? We're excited. With all due respect to Salford, they're a great team, but we've done a double overlap this season, and we're buzzing to go there in the second leg. And I tell you what, in the first leg when they come to our Blundell Park, we're going to make it a very tough game, and they've got to see that game before we go there.
And the crowd can make a big difference, can't they, in that one?
Oh, 100%. You see, the crowd that was here today, Tranmere have a very good support, and we nearly made it a home game for us. So 100% the crowd at BP in that first leg is going to be pivotal in the game, yeah.
How do you reflect on a 7th place finish then?
Oh, it's decent, to be fair. It's looking back at it, we dropped a couple of points where probably would have made us miss automatic promotion where we probably should have won. And obviously you don't want to look back at it with regret, but in hindsight we could be winning a lot of these games. But I tell you what, it's better than last season, and so in the gaffer's words, we're moving forward as a football club, so it is good.
Yeah. As for the game today, how aware were you of what was happening elsewhere, if at all?
Me personally, I wasn't aware, but I did hear a bit of rumours behind me and that. But I was so focused on this game, I wasn't, myself, I can only speak for myself, I wasn't aware of anything at all.
Who were you hearing that from then?
I don't want to drop any names.
Whether it's players or fans?
Oh no, a few players were checking in, but me myself, no, I wasn't aware of anything. No.
Yeah. How are you reflecting on your season?
It's been a bit soft to start, but I tell you what, it's a good time for it to start because it's the most important time. It's the time to make yourself a legend, and players like me, Jays, and we live for moments like this, and we literally got a playoff for 2 games away from Wembley, and I can't wait to go on the pitch.
Yeah, you told me in the week that you were desperate to get to Wembley, having been denied by Bromley a couple of seasons ago with Altrincham.
Oh, 100%, I'm desperate, and I'm going to give it all in them 2 playoff games. I'm going to give it all. If they got to stretch me off the pitch, I'm going to give it all, and we'll see where we are in 2 weeks' time.
What's it like to play in the playoffs?
Oh, it's exciting. As I say, like as a kid, you want to play at Wembley. You want to play at Wembley, and that's the end goal. I mean, you want to win at Wembley, I should say, because if we get to Wembley, we're going to win. And no, 100% playoffs they're amazing. We're here, we've got a chance to get promoted, we've got a chance to take the club to League One. So it's an amazing opportunity.
What were your expectations when you joined the club, both personally and from a team point of view, Justin?
Well, the gaffer set us targets. We had to text him about what we wanted for the season, and I told him I wanted to make the playoffs minimum, and I used the word minimum because I knew that we had a good team, but I did reach the goal in terms of we made the playoffs.
And coming to the team recently, I mean, what's made the difference then?
In terms of me, I'll say that structure. I think the gaffer trusts me more, and I feel like he does trust me more to play me in these big games, and I feel like, as I say, that he knows that I'm a goal threat, and I proved it to him today that I can. If no one else is firing, I can step up and fire myself. So I think that's been the difference.
Having been out to the team for so long, did you wonder deep down whether your chance had come?
You always have doubts, but I always thought that I always prepared myself to be ready if my chance came. And so you're answering your question, I did have a little bit of doubts, but I always had faith in myself that I would come back and have an opportunity.
What would you say your emotion is then going into the playoffs?
Oh, excited, 100%. With fans like that and the noise they're making, I was getting goosebumps before the game today, so in the playoffs, I can imagine it'll be way better than that. But I'm excited, that's literally where I am right now.
As well as yourself, how much do you want to do for them then, and their loyal, unwavering support?
Oh, definitely. First and foremost, I want to do it for my teammates and myself, but when you see the support from that, you want to make them happy. You want them to be buzzing, and honestly, it's a very, very great support of fans. Probably the best I've ever played under, and I do want to do it for them as well, yeah.
Great to see you back on the score sheet again today, Justin, and we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well done to Justin Amelazar, scorer for Grimsby Town, the opener this afternoon at Prenton Park. Let me just quickly let you know the picture as things stand now the regular season has been completed. So the teams that are automatically promoted to the Premier League confirmations: Coventry and Ipswich in the playoffs, Millwall, Southampton, Middlesbrough, of course, Hull City relegated from the Championship, Oxford, Leicester City and Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday confirmation of a takeover today, and because of that takeover they will start on 0 points next season and not the 15-point deduction. In League One promotion, Lincoln City and Cardiff, The playoff teams Stockport, Bradford, Bolton Wanderers and Stevenage. Relegated from League One, Exeter, Port Vale, Rotherham and Northampton. And as for League Two, Bromley, Milton Keynes and Cambridge promoted to League One next season. The playoffs will be made up of Salford, Notts County, Chesterfield and of course Grimsby Town. And relegated to the National League are Barrow and this afternoon Harrogate because of that 2-1 defeat at Barnet. Happy times. Well, the Hull City captain Louis Coyle celebrating the club's elevation to the playoffs, and after the game this afternoon at the MK Stadium, he spoke to Mike White.
Louis, congratulations. I know it's a team thing, but as a hometown boy, you've just captained your hometown club to the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. How does that feel?
Yeah, incredible. Again, I know you say it's a club thing, and that's exactly what it is. So it's nothing to do with me and where I'm from. And again, I don't want to make this about me. Of course, I'm incredibly proud. I've always said every time I pull the shirt on, being from the club. But yeah, just what a special group of players. In fact, what a special group of humans. Just on a personal level, every single one of them, staff included, and everybody at the top of the football club, and everybody who works in and around the football club on a day-to-day basis. This is for them. Again, it's not been easy these last couple of months. It's got really tough, but to do it in that manner, when our backs are against the wall going into the final day, just speaks volumes of everybody at this club.
What has it taken?
Exactly what you've seen today. We go a goal behind, and all of a sudden you're thinking, here we go again. But I think that probably sums this group up this year, going a goal behind last day of the season, realistically needing to win the game to have any chance of securing that playoff place. And yeah, you see the reaction. We go give round, we get a penalty, we settle the game. We sort of keep calm heads, keep composed. The message at half-time was just to continue doing the same thing. And we know there's goals in this team, especially when you've got the big man up front, which he's done all year for us. He's been a breath of fresh air, and every single person out there on that pitch, and the lads on the bench included, just everybody. I couldn't be more delighted for everybody. It's what everybody deserves, and yeah, it's a nice day.
It could have been anyone, as you said. It's a team thing, but it was written for Ollie today, a day like this, wasn't it?
Absolutely. You need your big players to step up on big days, and again, if you're at the top end of the pitch, you sort of hanging your hat on him to score them goals, and the big man does what the big man does best. He gets himself into them areas. First of all, he steps up and takes the penalty. Again, never had any doubt that he'd put it in the back of the net for us, and gives us that platform to go on. And then, like you say, he finishes the second one fantastically.
Final day being what it is, the crowd usually tells you what's going on. How much did that feed into what you knew you maybe had to do as a side? As much as it doesn't set your tactics necessarily or drive everything, how much did it play in when you were picking up what was going on from the crowd?
Yeah, of course, you hear things, you hear sort of whispers and murmurs, but you're fully focused in the game. But I must say, Dean Holden was absolutely fantastic at half-time. He sort of said to us, listen lads, I want you to ignore what's going on around you. You can obviously hear some things what you might sort of think, give you an inkling as to what's going on. You might get that wrong. So he said if there's a moment in the game where we need to, and we need to break the game up and have a little almost discussion and a reset, then we will do. So he was excellent at half-time with his instructions to just remain calm, keep doing what we're doing, and at some point we will get the message on to you what is needed and what the situation was. And it's quite clear about 85 minutes that keep doing what we're doing, and we'll be fine. And like you say, when that final whistle goes, even you see the people running on the pitch, which I just wanted to be with the lads and enjoy that moment. But even still, I think I went over to my family straight away and said, is it done? Because you still have them doubts that people get a little bit sort of premature with the celebrations. But yeah, they confirmed to me it was done, and that was the moment it sort of probably sunk in.
You got a chance to celebrate with your family out there. What did that moment mean?
That's what it's about for me. Yeah, maybe look at life a little bit differently nowadays. And that's what it's about for me, sharing these moments with my family. That's all it'll ever be about from now on. To have my whole family obviously missing the one person that I would have absolutely loved to have been here. But I had every other member of my family here today to sort of celebrate that moment with me. And yeah, that meant everything.
You've always spoken about your dad, and I know you want to do that because you want to keep his memory going. What would he be saying to you around about now?
Yeah, tough one to ask, because yeah, probably struggled talking about him sometimes. But I had a little chat with him yesterday, went and sat with him yesterday, and I've never asked for his help since the day that he's sort of passed away. But yesterday I asked him for the first time, I said, gives a little bit of help. That if you can find a way of helping me. He always brought me up to sort of be able to manage stuff on my own. But yeah, he certainly helped me today.
And he'd be saying, go on and win it now. Nothing's done yet.
Absolutely, yeah. He'd probably have a go at me for maybe welling up a little bit now, but he'd be saying, listen, son, it's not done. I made him a promise one day that I would eventually get to the Premier League by hook or by crook, and regardless of what people say and tell me what sort of level I'm at, which I'm used to by now. That dream's still alive. We've got potentially 3 games away from realising my dream and a promise I made to my old man.
And thank you for talking about that side of it. You've had a lot to deal with as a side from last year, coming off the back of narrowly avoiding relegation to what this has become this season. Did the belief ever start to wane as much? I know you have to be positive as players. Was there ever a moment where you thought, even like last week, was there a point where you thought it might just have slipped out of our hands?
No, I think obviously the defeat at Charlton certainly was a real sort of killer blow, if you like, and obviously we was very, very deflated after that. Of course, we was then waiting on the result the following day. That obviously naturally gives you a lift when the result goes your way, if you like. Of course, we never wanted to be in a position where we're relying on results, etc. But that was the sort of the cards we was dealt at that moment, and we give ourselves a chance. And if you give this team a chance and a slight glimmer of hope, then that's all we need. And excuse me, again, you saw that today, and just absolutely delighted for the boys and the staff inside that football club.
Millwall up next, which I know you just found out. You didn't know that when you were out on the field. It will be Millwall up next. I know you'll expect a tough game, but when you think about atmospheres today and you think about the atmosphere that's always the case down there as well, how interesting, how intriguing a tie does that set up?
Yeah, of course, very, very intriguing. I think they're the games you want to be involved in. I said to the boys in the huddle before the game, I said, these are the times when it's all said and done and it's over and our career's over. I said, there's a few of us older boys that are a million miles away from that, but I said, these are the days you miss when the stakes are high and there's everything to gain. I said, these are the days and the moments you'll miss to make sure that we don't have any regret at the end of this game, no matter what happens. And that'll be the same message going into the playoffs. They're the big moments, the big games that we all wanted to be involved as a kid when you're dreaming of being a footballer, and we sort of turn that into reality. But yeah, like you say, nothing's done. We've put ourselves in a position to go and get to Wembley, hopefully, and then obviously what will be will be.
It's a team thing, but talk to me about the manager and what he's brought you this year.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. He's very, very straight. He's very, very very honest, if you like, straight to the point. Don't pull no punches, and that's the sort of person that I probably get on with the most. Someone just that says it as it is. You know where you stand with them, whether you sort of agree with it or not. He doesn't mind. He's putting his opinion first, and all the boys respect him. He's actually a very, very funny individual as well. I think people maybe don't see that side to him, but we have a great relationship amongst him and the lads. And
that's Louis Coyle. I have to say that humorous side of Sergei Kirovich comes out many times in the media interviews. Certainly the bits you don't get to hear off there is a very, very charming and humorous man. Confirmation then of the playoff picture for Hull City. They will play Millwall, welcome Millwall to the MKM Stadium this Friday and travel to the New Den on Monday. As for Grimsby Town, well, it's at Blundell Park against Salford next Sunday, the 10th of May, with the return leg on the 15th of May, a week on Friday. That will actually be a 7:15 kick-off. All the joys of the television getting involved. Tomorrow, it's Scunthorpe United's opportunity to get to Wembley, and in the last few minutes, chair of the club, Michelle Harness, has penned an open message to supporters ahead of that promotion semi-final against Rochdale. I'll just give you a little bit of it. Whatever happens in this game, I know Andy, his staff and the players will leave everything out there on the pitch to try and get a result. For us all, the players have earned this right to be in this position and compete against the best teams in the league for an opportunity to get back to where we want to be. Commentary from Scotland tomorrow, along with Hull FC commentary against Toulouse here on Humberside Sport Live. We begin at 2 o'clock tomorrow. This from Paul, the City fan, says, came out of anaesthetic after an operation today and woke up to the good news about City making the playoffs. The nurses couldn't wait to tell me. Paul, best wishes to you. That is the way to celebrate.
Getting you closer to your club. BBC Radio Humberside Sports.
Upload. The best in new comedy, poetry, and spoken word.
That's right, this is BBC Upload, and I'm Hannah here with you for the next couple of hours.